On June 19th, 1865, federal troops arrived in Galveston, Texas to ensure that all enslaved people be freed. The date is now the oldest known celebration commemorating the end of slavery in the United States. Last year, President Biden signed a law making Juneteenth a federal holiday. And this year, the city of Raleigh will be celebrating in a variety of ways. Joining us to discuss the Juneteenth Jubilee is Lieutenant Chaz Moore with the Raleigh Fire Department and Dr. Frank Fields, who will serve as the Grand Marshal of the Raleigh Parade. Gentlemen, great to have you both on this program. Lieutenant Moore, let's start with you. Tell us about the history of Juneteenth.
Yeah, you explained it really well. So the history of Juneteenth is after the Emancipation Proclamation, not everyone knew that they were free. So when troops entered Texas, they freed the slaves and they started celebrating immediately.
And Dr. Frank Fields, you were born and raised in Southeast Raleigh. You're a proud lifelong resident. Now that Juneteenth is a federal holiday, what does that mean to you to be able to celebrate it in Raleigh?
It means so much to me. Personally, I'm just happy to be a part of such a grand event. But for Raleigh and for the Southeast District of Raleigh, it's going to be awesome. We're going to be able to galvanize and unite and bring the community together. So it's really going to be a fun, great event, and we're super excited for it.
Really is about bringing the community together. Lieutenant Moore, the Victor Company is putting together this celebration in June. The service organization is steeped in history. Tell us about its Raleigh firefighting roots.
Yeah, so before the city of Raleigh had a fire department, the entire city was protected by different volunteer fire companies. So on the corner of Blunt and Hargett was Engine Company number 1. In 1870, at the 10th North Carolina State Fair, they entered a competition, and in the newspaper, they were called the Victors. And they changed their name from Victor Company, from Engine Company 1 to Victor Company. So that's where Victor Company comes from, that protection of Southeast Raleigh.
Fascinating. I'm learning so much today. What's the cultural significance of Juneteenth?
You know, that really kind of depends on all of us. Now that it's a federally recognized holiday, we kind of must decide how this is going to be significant. So when I walk into your house on Christmas, or you came into my house, you would look around and say, it looks like Christmas in here. But if you came into my house on Juneteenth, or if I went to your house on Juneteenth, what does it look like? What does it taste like? And what does it sound like? So it's really up to all Americans now to create the cultural significance of this holiday.
Well, and this Jubilee perhaps will be a step toward creating that cultural significance. So it'll feature a parade, right, that will go through downtown Raleigh. Talk about why you decided to do a parade.
Traditionally, that's how we celebrate in America. If you think about St. Patrick's Day, they have a parade celebrating their heritage. If you think about the 4th of July, it's a parade celebrating our independence. So we kind of meshed the two, and now we're celebrating our heritage and our African-American independence right here in Southeast Raleigh. We were able to have Truist Bank and UNC Healthcare come in and give us donations and sponsorship. So it's also a fun, inclusive event that a lot of resources were dedicated to have a great time, but to also recognize the magnitude of this holiday.
And everyone is invited to that celebration. The first inaugural Juneteenth Jubilee Parade will actually take place on June 25th at 10 a.m. It will begin on Southeast Street in Raleigh and ends in New Bern Avenue. Looking forward to it, and thank you so much for the history lesson, Lieutenant Moore and Dr. Fields.
Thank you.